Hey guys, welcome to the Rusty Beauties Garage and to another episode of the 1960... What year was it? I'll tell you in just a second. 67 Spitfire. Okay, 67. Welcome to our 1967 Spitfire Mark III that we're working on here in the Rusty Beauties Garage. And today we're gonna do a little bit more work on it. If you remember, we took the engine apart, we sent some parts to the machine shop, a new machine shop to me, and while we were waiting for parts, we started working on another project, the Franken car, and I was supposed to work on both cars simultaneously when the engine parts come back. Well, the Franken car is ready, and we still don't have the parts, I mean the block, the head, and the crankshaft back from the machine shop for this car, which is it's too bad, but it is what it is. Machine shops are not easy to find nowadays, and my trusted machine shop closed down because the owners retired and their kids don't want to take over the business. It's unbelievable. So I don't know if anybody's gonna take over that shop. But anyways, this new machine shop, they keep telling me next week, and we came into the Easter week, so they were closed, I'm assuming, for Easter holidays. Today is supposedly the first business day after Easter. And I called them this morning, nobody answered. I left a message, I'm gonna call a little bit later. Hopefully we're gonna get the parts soon, because I wanna finish this car. I told Peter, the owner, that he was gonna have it for the driving season, and the driving season is already here. The Toronto Triumph Club starts organizing drives. I see the emails going back and forth. And his car is still not ready, so we still have a few little projects that we can do before we get the engine parts, so maybe we should address those. And I think we're gonna start with the biggest one, which is the windshield frame. The windshield frame requires a little bit of work. It needs to be painted. The windshield gasket needs to be replaced for sure, but you know what, let me pull it out, and then we're gonna figure out which projects we're gonna work. Alright, so what I think we should work on today is the windshield and the windshield frame. So the windshield frame requires repainting, and the windshield gasket obviously needs to be replaced. The bottom one, the bottom one as well. So this bottom one, Peter has, he gave it to me, but he doesn't have this one, so I ordered a new one. So we're gonna use that and we're gonna replace it. So first of all, of course, we're gonna have to take the windshield frame out. I know this is a tricky task for many people, but I have a trick up my sleeve that I'm hoping is gonna work, so I'm gonna show it to you. First of all, I'm gonna take the windshield out so we don't break it in the process. You can take the windshield frame out without taking the windshield out, but since we're going to be replacing the gasket, it's easier if we take it out right now. So let's do that. And of course, how we're going to take it out is we're going to cut the gasket. Just a few days ago on a TR250, I needed to reseat the windshield and I had to take the windshield out. So I told the owner I need to cut the gasket. I'm not attempting to, even if the gasket is in a good shape, I'm not attempting to take out a windshield and saving the gasket. I tried once before to save the gasket because it was a windshield that I just installed, and then my cheap boss decided that he wants to keep that windshield for another car and put a cheaper windshield on that car. So he wanted me to take it out and save the gasket. Well, I tried, and guess what happened? I cracked the windshield. I broke it. It shattered. So never ever again I'm attempting to take out the windshield without cutting the gasket. Even if it's a new gasket, it is garbage. I cut it and I take the windshield out. This one actually we're replacing the windshield as well because it has welding marks. Somebody welded or ground around the car with the windshield on, and it has spots, like it has those dots. So we have to replace the windshield as well. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting from here up pretty much to the gap on top, and then I'm gonna go and cut this way without reaching all the way to the metal, because if the frame is painted, you don't wanna scratch it, right? This one we're gonna be repainting anyway, so it's not a big deal. But in general, if you're not repainting the frame, then you have to be careful not to scratch it. So you see, this is what I'm doing. And now here we have the end of the windshield. So I'm gonna do that everywhere. And now with a gentle tap here in the middle, or from inside, it should come loose. There you go. Okay. We're gonna give this back to Peter. And the rest of this gasket now should come out easy. Hopefully we don't have rust here, because this is a weak spot for the windshield frames. Yeah, this one is good. There's a little bit of a rust over there, but we can figure that out. Perfect. Now we can take it out and clean it. There's a plate here with the commission number that we're gonna have to save, and it's gonna be in the way for the gasket when we're installing the windshield back, but we can drill these rivets and take it out, and then we're gonna install it back. So now let's go underneath. We're gonna have to reach the two brackets underneath, but I'm gonna prep for that and I'm gonna bring you back. All right, as you may know, there's a rod that is extension of this side of the windshield frame that goes inside here and goes into a bracket that is held with these two bolts and one more on the inside right here. This bar, you see, it goes through the bracket and then there's a nut at the end of the bar. The problem is, very often the windshield frame gets stuck inside this bracket. So what people do is they remove this nut, both sides of course, and they remove the bolts and then try to pry the windshield frame up. And it doesn't work many times. Sometimes it might work, but most of the times it doesn't. And they start shoving pry bars here and they just try to pry the windshield frame up. They start shaking it, but that's not helping because the bracket inside also is shaking. So what I do is I remove the bolts, remove this nut, but then I take a pair of pliers like vice grips or plumbers, and I grab the bracket right here and I start twisting it. And if it starts twisting, I might even spray a little bit of WD-40 inside, and I make sure that the bracket releases from the windshield frame. The windshield frame stays where it is. I remove the bracket down. On TR6 you can't even remove the bracket because it hits the bulkhead here. But on Spitfire I think I can remove it unless this antenna now is in my way. But doesn't matter, as long as it loosens, then you can just put loosely the bolts here without tightening them and slide the windshield frame up. And then the same on the other side there. It's a little bit harder because of the steering column and everything, and the glove box is there too, so we're gonna have to remove that glove box. So let's try one side first. Okay, I'm not sure how well you're gonna see from there. I'm gonna try to keep my head out of your way, but that's what we're gonna do. Oh, that seized really well. So if I'm not able to spin the bracket from here, imagine how hard it would be to pull the rod straight out. You know what I mean? actually never seen one that is so bad. Usually they give up as soon as I grab it here, it starts spinning on the road. Okay, that's the idea. I'm gonna spray. I'm gonna take my magic solution now, not even WD-40. I'll show you. Yeah, I have this ATF and acetone 50-50 mix, which is a magic solution. Apparently it is very good for penetrating fluid. So I'm gonna go and put around the rod and around the bracket, and hopefully that's gonna help us. I'm gonna do it on both sides, and we're gonna continue from there. That was scary. Okay, this one broke off real easy. No problem at all. Okay. So you see this side came out no problem. And you see how the top bolt is what squeezes the rod inside. The bottom one and this one just hold the bracket to the body of the car. So you know what I'm gonna do? For this one, I'm just gonna put the bolt in, just gonna start it, and then I'm gonna try to give it a whack just once, if I can, because the door is here. Because you see how it bolts into this, so I can just open this a little bit. I don't know if it is gonna work, but we can try. Or like this. Yeah. Oh. Okay, hopefully that loosened it a little bit. Let's remove this again. Yes, it started moving. Good. Not very easy, but it's moving. So, I'm gonna add more fluid. And we're gonna continue. Okay, now it's moving easier. Okay, I can't take it completely out because of the antenna, but now in this situation, the frame should be able to come out. So I just need to pull the gasket, the windshield, the door gasket here. Like this. Uh-oh. There's rust here, unfortunately. We're gonna have to deal with that. Now, there's holding points here in the middle as well. Let's go and see my Spitfire. Okay, so here we are in my own Spitfire, and you see we have these mounting points here and here, and there's another one here. But this Spitfire is different. And now I have to go and do a research and see if somebody improvised here or that's a different dash. Because here you see this dash, the vinyl is wrapped around the dash and it's pushed down. On mine and on TR6 as well, the vinyl on the dash is not wrapped around, it just extends and it ends somewhere under the windshield frame. So now I don't know what is holding the frame there. So let me investigate and I'll bring you back. Oh my God, this turns into a more complicated job than I expected. Okay, so Spitfires always amaze me with the transition from generation to generation, like Mark II to Mark III, Mark III to Mark IV, etc., etc. looks like they used leftover parts from Mark III going into Mark IV, or vice versa. I don't know what happened, but for example, door handles, I've seen Mark IIIs with door handles like that, like Mark II, and I've seen door handles like, so I don't know when they made the switch. The dash also, some Mark IIIs are like Mark IIs, some Mark IIIs are like Mark IVs. So anyways, looks like this crash pad, or dash top they call it here, is also different in Mark III. You can see it one way or the other. So this one is for 68 to 70 Spitfire, and the rear end is loose and it goes under the windshield frame. But then if you go to the Mark IV and 1500, so from 71 to 80, you see that the dash is totally wrapped from everywhere and it just goes on top of the metal. So looks like in this car that's what we have, a Mark IV, and it bolts with bolts from underneath here, but I don't know, I'm not sure if that is holding the windshield frame as well, or there is something else that is holding the windshield frame underneath. Let's go and check. So you see what we have here. So I don't know where these are held, but let's go underneath and I'll show you. So there's bolts that hold these vents from underneath, and also there's bolts that hold the whole pad from underneath. So let's go together underneath. There you go. So this is what holds the vents, and then we have these. I believe these are studs that are into the dash, and we just need to unscrew them from here and they're gonna come out. And there's one big bolt over there. You see this one? I think that's what holds the windshield frame, but I'm not sure. And it's only one in the center. There's nothing here. Like, there's no other, unless this is the one. Oh, maybe this is the one. Maybe this is what's holding the windshield frame. So, you know what? I'm gonna undo this one and that one. And on that side, there must be one as well. I don't know how we're gonna do that. Maybe we can undo the windshield frame without removing the dash. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so it's not hard to reach all three of them with, actually I'm able to reach them with a screw gun and long extension. Here I'm able to go just behind the dash and in front of the heater motor, so I can reach the nut on this bolt underneath. The problem is that we have bolt going from above, going down, and then we have the nut underneath, and the nuts spin. So I guess they're using the same locations as on my Spitfire, but on the early Spitfires we have the nuts welded from underneath, so you just run a bolt from above. Here you have the nut from underneath and a bolt that comes out, and unfortunately the head of this bolt is under this dash, so I have no other choice but to remove this dash from here. And let's see how hard that's gonna be. At least we're gonna take these out and we're gonna paint them as well. And the ashtray, which, oh, look at that. Never seen one of these used. Okay, wow. Like I said, this becomes a bigger job than I expected, but it is what it is. Okay, I was really hoping not to get there, but unfortunately I have to. I mean, all the wiring, because it is not the original wiring as shown in some of the previous videos. Peter has done some electrical work here. He added relays for all the circuits, and now it is a little bit more complicated than original. You see, I have a schematic, so if we have to get there, we're gonna get there, but for now I'm trying to work around disconnecting everything. I mean, nothing has been disconnected. I just pulled the dash forward, and Peter left enough slack here for that, so that's good. The speedometer came out, or that's the tachometer, that came out because it has nothing connected to it other than the illumination light, so that is this little bulb here. But the speedometer has some stuff connected to it, 3 different lights here plus illumination, so I'm leaving it there. I just pulled it forward enough so I can reach the bolts from underneath. Actually, let's go together and I'll show you. So I don't know if you see them, but you see this one, you see this one, that's one of them that needs to come out. Also the one that holds the bracket for the vent, for the defroster up there. There's one somewhere there. So with the long extension I'm gonna be able to undo those, but how I'm gonna put them back on, I have no idea. But that's a problem for the future me. The nut on the speedometer cable is seized to the cable and it spins the whole cable with it, and I can't unseize it because I can't put 2 hands there. Oh, it's crazy. Anyway. Okay, all the screws are out. So there's like 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3 here, and then 2 on each of the vents or defrosters. So now everything is out, but feels like something is still holding it. Like the rear end is out, but here I think it is the vinyl behind the dash. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my god, the whole dash needs to come out. This is held with 1 screw here, which is missing anyway, because, oh, that's the screw that goes through here. It wasn't there. So we're gonna have to figure out some screws for there. So yeah, there's one here in the back, a stud with a nut, and probably there's another one somewhere here because it's held solid. Yeah, there's one more here. What about this? Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I'll figure these out. So everything needs to come out. That's crazy. Anyways, and this dash pad is not great, but what can we do about it? Maybe we can rewrap it. I rewrapped it for my Spitfire and it worked fantastic because a new one is expensive and it's gonna come in 6 million days. So maybe we should just rewrap this one. Anyways, let's take it out first. Finally. Wow, that's crazy. So these are the studs that go down. Anyway, we'll see if we can rewrap that. Maybe we can build something here. Yeah. And here underneath are the bolts that hold the windshield frame. So you see this one came out. Oh. This one was spinning and that one also. So now we can take those out. So now there shouldn't be anything anymore holding it there. It's just the gasket here. Yeah. Well, too bad. They painted the car with this gasket on and now the gasket is stuck there. I'm gonna try a little pry bar from inside or just more force here. There you go. Okay. There you go. So it was supposed to be a simple job. Remove the windshield frame, remove the windshield, paint it, put the windshield frame back, put the new windshield on, and forget about it. Turns out it is a complicated job now. Like, we took the whole dash apart. Now we're gonna have to clean here, of course, a little bit. But the bigger problem is now that the dash, now that it is out, it's not worth putting it back in cracked, right? So we're gonna try to fill this with something. We will see, maybe even body filler, just to make it nice and smooth. And then we're gonna rewrap this dash. We're gonna need to drill these out, these rivets. And we're gonna need to take this bracket out and we're gonna rewrap it. It's not such a big deal. Here, this is the rust that I was talking about. So we're gonna have to fix that somehow. Usually it rusts inside here, but this one seems to be in a good shape here, which is good. So it's only here. For that, we're gonna have to remove all the vinyl. We had to remove it anyways in order to paint it. So that needs to be done. So yeah, a lot of work that I didn't expect. With these cars, you can never tell how long a job it's gonna take. Anyways, what should we start with? Let's unwrap the frame and do the welding and then paint it, because that's gonna be the longest. And once it's painted, we're gonna give it time to dry. And in the meantime, we're gonna do the dash and all that. So it's gonna take a while. I thought I was gonna be able to do this job within the day, hopefully, or maybe tomorrow I would have finished, but I don't know now. We will see. All right, let's strip this. Hopefully there's no rust holes underneath. Yeah, this side is good. Yeah, this looks good as well. That's good news. Now, let's see if we can remove this vinyl. Oh, it's cut in the middle. But if we can remove this vinyl and save it, we're gonna be able to reuse it after. Actually, let's strip it from hardware first. These have left and right, so this is to lock the soft top, right? And the ramp where the key slides is on the outside. So that's our right one. And you see this one, the ramp is on the other side, on the left. So both ramps are on the outside. Okay, it's actually 2 days later, so a neighbor here, a farmer, knocked off a pole, electrical pole, and we lost power for I think it was like 4 or 5 hours that day. But then they fixed it, and then the next day, which was yesterday, he did it again. Like with his farmer's equipment, somehow he did the exact same pole. He ripped it off, and this time a big area lost power. All the transformers for each house blew a fuse, and they had to go from house to fix everything. So yesterday all day I didn't have power. But I took the opportunity to service that baby. I didn't need power for that. Her spring maintenance is done now. So we are ready for the road. Anyways, back to our frame now. I was able to finish stripping it the other day. Unfortunately, one side, the vinyl here, you saw it wasn't great to begin with, and I couldn't save it. I mean, I took it out in 2 pieces, but it's ripped. But now I can go ahead and clean it up as much as I can. We're gonna see how we're gonna repair this part here. We're gonna have to cut a piece, but I don't want to remove this piece. I'm probably gonna cut some of it. Wow, it looks like the whole entire side is done though. I don't want to get rid of everything, because you see on this side, oops, on this side there's this channel that I don't want to disturb. So we'll see. But first of all, let me needle scale it everywhere. And the other side I think looks better. It's full of rust inside. Yeah, I think it's gonna need the same thing here as well. Anyway, let me needle scale it and we will see how far we're gonna go. Alright, I ended up stripping the whole paint, so I needle scaled it first in these areas here to see how bad it was. Then I wire wheeled it, a little bit here, and look what I'm discovering. Rusty holes here and there. So I decided to go ahead and wire wheel the whole frame, and we have a little bit of holes here. This area inside here needs to be repaired. Yeah, this side looks a little bit better, but also needs to be repaired. Look at all these holes here inside. So we're gonna have to do some welding here. So this is the same side. This one looks a little bit better, like I said, but still might require a little bit. So we might cut some metal out and replace here and here. And it's the same there. I don't understand why we have one patch here and one patch of rust here. So anyway, it's full of stuff inside. I actually blew with the compressed air through all the holes, but there's still stuff inside. So when we cut patches from here, wherever we're gonna cut, we're gonna try to get rid of the rust or rust flakes and whatever is inside through there. So I'm gonna cut and weld now. We started with windshield replacing, and we ended up with welding and all that stuff, you know. Okay, I figured out why it rusts in both these places, because you see here and here it was brazed. The rod was brazed to this piece of metal somehow. I have no idea how. From here before they closed it, I guess. And somehow the brazing, I guess, attracted the rust. Is it possible? I don't know. But anyway, it's all cut, so we have to make the internal patch first, grind it, and then put a patch on top. For this cut, I had to go through here, but we can weld this easily inside and outside. And for this one, I just made a cut here, then I bent it up, I cut it this way, and then bent it back down, so the two cuts don't overlap, and I can weld them both separately. I also made this hole a little bit bigger, reached the solid metal there, and now we're gonna make a patch for there as well. Unfortunately, the other side is not great. So here I cut only in this area first, but then I realized I have to go higher, so I removed the top layer from this entire part, and it looks like I'm gonna have to replace all the metal here. I'm gonna needle scale it now again and see how solid this is, but I don't want to go all the way up. I think the problem is only here again. I'm assuming there's brazing here, just like here. And yeah, I'm gonna cut the internal layer as well now, and we'll see where we go. For these little ones here, I'm just gonna weld them and grind them. I'm not gonna cut out. I think they're small enough to do that. Much bigger repair on this side. So here it was more extended to the side, so I decided to remove the whole lip from here. That goes like this. First I removed the bottom, but then I realized that the rest is not attached as well, so I removed that as well. But we're gonna keep it unless we want to make it. I don't know if we can make one piece that goes here. I don't know. We will see what we're gonna do. This way we can avoid a whole bunch of welding here. But first we're gonna have to repair this because it was extended more that way and more this way. Here we can weld a piece inside. Unless, now I'm thinking, maybe if it's easier to just get rid of this flange as well on the side and just weld a new piece from here to there instead of welding another stitch there. But here, where are the spot welds? It's gonna be hard to find them, you know. Okay, I decided to drill the spot welds and remove the whole thing. It's easier, it saves me an entire weld on this side. And same here. It was easy to find the spot welds on this side, you see. So I drilled them all. And now we have entire patch that we can make here. So I'm gonna rust convert inside now, spray like primer or something, and then while it's drying we're gonna start making patches. By the way, look what's rolling inside left and right. It's a wasp nest. We have to break it apart somehow and take it out. Rusty and Beauty. That's exactly where you go to pee, you girl. Anyway, okay, so what we have here is, like, I don't know, it's another day, so I don't remember what I showed you yesterday, but we cut out all the rust. I rust converted inside and I spray painted, and I made patches for here, and for the other side as well. One big one. Where is it? Here. So I'm gonna paint the back right now of this, and then I'm gonna weld them, and then we're gonna start making the channel for outside. Here too, I think we're gonna remove this channel completely all the way to here. Or we should just take it out completely. Yeah, you know what, you might be right. We can just take out completely the channel and make new ones from top to bottom, because why do we need to weld them if we can just spot weld them after, or plug weld them? Okay, so I removed the channel completely and I welded this patch here. You can see all these little holes here got welded inside where we made the cuts, and all the plug welds. Same there. This little patch that we cut off, so I welded a new piece there, and these two patches are welded as well, and this whole channel is removed. I kept parts of it so we can have the profile. It's a little bit bent, but we're gonna straighten it, and we're gonna bend the new piece. Like, it doesn't make sense to patch this. So now I just need to grind everything. It's gonna take me a while, and then we're gonna just make the new channels, plug weld them, and we're gonna be done. What the heck? Haven't seen this. And this. I forgot about that side. All right. Have more welding to do. Okay, so it's all ground down. It's not perfect. I mean, it's not invisible welding, but this is going to be hidden, right? This is where the channel is going to go. The outside is what's important. Even here, these are going to be wrapped. Inside, everything is going to be wrapped. This is where the little cut was, and I welded it. And you see there's little, these are not pinholes. I know it's dark. These are not pinholes, these are just imperfections in the welds. Like here you can see better. Like here, here, here. These are just imperfections in the welds, but who cares? I mean, all this is gonna be wrapped inside and outside here. This is now all welded. And again, not perfect welding, but we don't want to make it the most expensive windshield frame in the world, right? We can make it perfect, but is it worth? I mean, this now is gonna get primered, and then we're gonna put the channel on top. Okay, we made these as well, and we painted them, both sides, even though we're gonna burn them, but it's gonna be hard to paint inside here later. So actually they're dry already, we can start welding them. Okay. All right, still smoking. So plug welds down here, plug welds down here. And let's see what it looks like in the front. I haven't looked yet. Looks good. Yeah, looks good. Okay, time to grind it and finally primer the frame and then paint it. All right, it's another day and the garage looks a little bit different, doesn't it? Yeah, because first of all, the weather is now super hot all of a sudden, as I was using heater 3 days ago. Now I have the garage door open, wearing a t-shirt, and I'm still hot. Anyways, over the weekend we painted the Miata, so the Spitfire is out in that shed under a cover as well. So we're gonna bring it back soon, but I told you guys we were gonna paint the Miata at some point, and we did. Looks nice. So anyways, here's the frame, and I don't know how far I showed you, but I finished welding it, grinding it, put back this channel. I mean, we made channels and we put them back. Everything is ground here and here. It is just like brand new frame now. At the end of the day, because you remember it was bare metal, I didn't want it to flush rust, so I just quickly sprayed it with primer, but it's not perfect. I don't know why, but there's like some uneven parts here, so I'm gonna take quickly some sandpaper, maybe just 300 sandpaper, and we're gonna smoothen it, and then we're gonna spray it with primer once again, and we're just gonna prep it for paint. Semi-gloss black paint, which is it's not flat paint. Chef Taj told me that the color for the windshield frames is semi-gloss black. I always thought it was flat black. Apparently it's semi-gloss. Anyway, I'm gonna sand it. I'm gonna start sanding it now, and I'm gonna bring you back at some point. All right, this video is becoming long, and believe me, I have a lot more to show until we bring the car to this stage. It's completed, but we're gonna show the rest of the work that we've done together in the next video. This one is gonna end here. So thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, sharing, and supporting the channel. It is highly appreciated, and stay tuned for the second part of the windshield frame and dash. I'm gonna show you what we've done with the dash as well. Yeah, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye. He goes forward first. Ay, 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 I don't like these wedges. Let's see if he's gonna do some donuts first. Almost.